The Carthage village clerk is resigning along with the two other members of her office. 7 News reporter Chad Charette tells us how that will affect village residents and what the plan is while the village fills those jobs.
Today, Carthage's village clerk office is staffed by 3 people. In just over a week, that won't be the case. Citing personal reasons, the village clerk and deputy clerk will be resigning effective January 2nd. And by the 10th, the part-time clerk will be gone as well. Village President Michael Astafan says the search is on for their replacements.
The board and I have a plan in place to cover the positions that will be vacated. We'll be doing interviews to replace all the individuals that will be leaving.
According to Astafan, the village hasn't conducted any interviews yet, but they'll be happening within the coming days. Step 1 will be replacing the clerk.
We just, ask the public to be patient with us, in case there's any hiccups. But, we think everything will transfer over smoothly.
Although these positions will be vacant in a few days' time, the village president tells 7 News that residents probably won't notice much of a difference in day-to-day operation. That's because somebody will still be sitting at the front desk of the clerk's office.
A lot of it's internal, and we'll have somebody covering the front window, so when people come in to pay a bill, there'll be someone there to, take their money and give them a receipt. 7
News also asked Assemblyman Ken Blankenbush, whose district encompasses Carthage, about the situation. He gave us this statement, saying he'll keep an eye on the issue, but he's standing by for a local solution. Chad Charette, 7 News.